welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a tag that until Mel with Puffin's wife did it, I honestly hadn't heard of it. But ever since I watched hers, I feel like some have been like kind of popping up into my recommended feed. But this is called the used and abused tag, and I love the concept behind this. This is products that have either been hit pan on. I'm not just going to say I hit pan on them. I'm going to do repurchase products, things that I've actually gone through entirely and repurchased again because I loved it that much. So some of these I've hit pan on, and some of them I just repurchased because they're products you can't technically hit pan on. I will say I am still trying to figure out this focus issue. Like, I feel like my last video, I know it was out of focus, a lot of it. I think it's because when I put it on autofocus, bring any kind of stuff in front of it, it tries to focus on stuff back here. And so I tried to do manual focus in my last video that I recorded that I haven't put up yet, and honestly I don't know if that's gonna work, but I just tried to manual focus it when I'm this far out and I couldn't get it to work. So I put it back on autofocus, and I'm just hoping that we can get this to work. So let's just go ahead and start. I'm going to start with face products that I have completely gone through and repurchased. I think that it would be very hard to believe, if I didn't know it for a fact myself, I wouldn't believe it, that the foundation junkie in me has actually gone through an entire foundation and repurchased it. And it's only been one. And I think that attests to how much I love this foundation. I don't talk about it enough on my channel because I feel like I'm always talking about new things. So, you know, I don't know that it really gets the love it deserves, but I know it was featured in my top 5 foundations. It's a good one. So the only one I've actually gone through and repurchased is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. This one is almost gone too. This is my second one. I'm in the color 104 Golden Beige. It's just, I mean, it says what it is, what it says it is. It's a 24-hour wear. I mean, I'm assuming I haven't worn it for 24 hours, but I have gotten a good 16 to 18 hours out of it. It still looks flawless. It works really well on oily skin. It's so affordable. I mean, yes, it's like 13 bucks, but that's pretty much the norm for the drugstore now. And with coupons and stuff that are available, honestly, the price can't be beat in my opinion. So this is the only foundation. Honestly, I've gone through all of them and I'm still looking to see. I might think of one when I get out of here or when I get off of here, but I don't think so. I think this is really the only foundation. So I should have probably started out with primers because there is only one primer that I have completely gone through and repurchased. And it is my favorite primer, which makes sense, but it is the YSL Touche Éclat Blur Primer. And if you can see, I'm already halfway through this bottle. I finished another bottle completely and I did not hesitate to immediately purchase another one. That's how much I love it. I've talked about this to no end on my channel, but if you're new, basically it works under every single foundation I have put it under. It never fails me in the primer department. I do feel like it helps the longevity some, but I have such normal skin that I don't really have an issue with longevity anyways. The main thing that it does for me is completely make my face the perfect canvas for foundation. Smooths it out, blurs the pores. Honestly, it just makes my skin as perfect as it can be before I put foundation on it. And that's why I will continue to repurchase this until I find something better, which it's been quite a while and I haven't found anything yet. See, I feel like I'm out of focus right now. All right, sticking on face products, the next one is a liquid bronzer, and it is the Armani Maestro Liquid Summer. Talked about this as being my all-time favorite cream bronzer. I feel like this is kind of like accumulation of my top 5 #1 spots because that's what it's going to end up being. But this is, again, a liquid bronzer. It's in a cream form. You can go back to that video and I do swatches, but this is my second bottle, and again, I will continue to repurchase it as long as they make it and as long as I don't find anything that I like better, which obviously to this point I have not. So, oh, I love, love, love that liquid bronzer. I have 2 other bronzers that I have hit pan on majorly, one of which I've already bought a backup of because it hit my #1 spot. It's just, I told y'all, this is accumulation. And it is the It Cosmetics CC Plus Radiance Ombre Bronzer. And it's this huge bronzer, which I have hit major pan on. it has more of a highlight on this side, which I tend to stick to this half of the bronzer. This is a gorgeous highlight, and it is an actual pretty eyeshadow color too, but I just don't really use it as much. I have already repurchased this because I do not want to be without this. That's how much I like it. This is another bronzer or another product that never fails me. It doesn't matter what color I am. It doesn't matter how tan I am. It doesn't matter how pale I am. It works for me all year round, over any foundation, over any powder, in any situation. Hands down, best bronzer there is. This is another bronzer that I'm actually wearing today, and it's the Balm Desert Blush / Bronzer. Now, this one I have hit pan on because this is my favorite cool tone bronzer. A lot of times when I do a cool tone look like I have on today, as far as eyeshadow goes, I don't like to use a very warm orange tone bronzer, because I think it just kind of, I don't know, they kind of clash, I feel like, on my face. So this is a very pink undertone bronzer, hence the reason it's called a blush / bronzer. Oh my goodness, I love it. It's so pretty. It's so easy to use. It blends out beautifully, and it's definitely one that I will repurchase once I can't use it anymore. A couple of powders, one of which I actually did not even think to pick. I don't know why, because I've clearly hit pan on it, but I felt a little shiny, and I was like, oh, let me grab that to kind of powder me up a little bit, even though I didn't, so I still look kind of shiny, I feel like. But this is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. Obviously, I've hit major pan on this. I have another one. This is in the shade medium. I carry another one in this shade in my kit, and I use it all the time. It is such a no powder powder. It works on oily skin. It works on dry skin. It just does not look like powder. You can honestly reapply it as much as you want. It's my favorite touch-up powder because you can just put it on top of anything, and you can keep pretty much caking it on, and it will never look cakey. It's just a beautiful finish. So I guess I kind of have repurchased that. I just carry it in my kit, but I probably will also when I actually hit so much pan that I can't use it anymore. But it's a great powder all around, setting, touch up. It's really good. And the other powder that I have actually repurchased is an Hourglass powder. I know y'all are so surprised. These are some of my very favorite, and this is in the shade Dim Light. So this is the second pan that I have owned in this powder. This one actually stays in my kit now. I completely, hit pan to where I couldn't even dig on the sides of the pan for this powder. And when I repurchased it, I decided that I wanted to put it in my kit because I also have Radiant Light, which seems to work better on my skin tone. So I use this in my kit on light to medium clients, and this is my favorite buffing powder. Hourglass powders in general are my favorite powders to buff out your face with once you're completely done with your entire face. It's absolutely the best formula for that, in my opinion. It's easier to deal with, obviously, than loose powders, which I know a lot of people prefer to buff out with, but I just feel like this is easier. It's easier to travel with. They are very fragile, I will say. I completely busted my Luminous Light. It just, half of it completely shattered at a client at a wedding. It was actually a wedding, and it just broke my heart. I still got half of it, but I'll have to repurchase that too because I love it so much. So Hourglass powders in general are something that are very used and abused in my collection and will forever be repurchased because I honestly don't think that I will find anything I like for their purpose any more than I like them. So the last kind of complexion product before I have 3 eyeshadow things to talk about and a lip gloss is the MAC Fix Plus. Honestly, I think everybody uses and abuses this. This is probably, I don't even know what number this is. I carry the big one. I have some travel sizes on my vanity, and I carry a big one in my kit. This is the one in my kit, and you can see it's down there. I already have a backup purchase because I can't be without this. I will use this up to 3 times on one face in an application. It's so good. All right, so some single shadows. Now, I just went through my collection and I saw the ones that I've hit pan on. Most of them are single pans, and I have only one palette in my whole collection that I have hit pan on any of the shades. So the first shade that I'm going to talk about is, this is my, it's kind of my main palette that I carry in my kit. It's a Makeup Forever palette, so it's huge. And I hope that this is going to be in focus. But it's this pan right here, which you can tell, can you even see product in that? This is Cream Brulee by Makeup Geek. This right up here is a new one. I put the backup in there before I even got done with the other one because I was so worried that I was going to be out of this shade. That's how much I use it. Almost every single client that sits in my chair gets creme brulee on their eyes in some form or fashion. It is an amazing pigmented, easy to blend out transition shade. It's great for natural looks to be the only shadow that you use in the crease. And honestly, I just can't say anything bad about it. It's $6. You can't beat that. And it's definitely, obviously, one that I've hit pan on, repurchased, and will continue to. There's only one other Makeup Geek shadow that I have hit pan on, and it is Latte. So this is kind of a cooler, a little bit darker version of the creme brulee. It does have more of a gray undertone to it, and I love to use that as a transition color in cool toned looks. Single shadows that I've gone through are all Anastasia Beverly Hills shadows, and they are all ones that I've already repurchased when they had their like 60% off Cyber Monday sale. I went ahead and got backups of these because I knew that obviously I've hit pan on them and I would need the backups. And there's actually 4 that I've hit pan on. One of them in this palette, the only one that's not Anastasia Beverly Hills, is MAC. And I've also hit pan on that, and it's nylon. And it's just, you know, it's the famous highlight color, so I use that quite a bit. But the ones that I've hit pan on in this palette are Blanc, which is this white color. Very, very, very creamy and very perfect to set your primer. Also, let's see, right down here is Birkin. Great transition shade. Dusty Rose, which is so beautiful. It's a dusty rose shade. And then right here is Smoke. So, like I said, I already have backups of these in my drawer for when I just can't use them anymore because I thought 60% off. Obviously, I'm going to get through those, and obviously they're some of my favorites, so I am definitely going to buy the backups. Now, the only other eyeshadow is actually a palette, and I went through all of my palettes, and there is only one in the countless numerous palettes that I own that I had actually hit pan on a shadow, and I've actually hit pan on 2. This is one I don't talk about enough, and I actually pulled it out and used it because it had been forever since I had, and so many people complimented my eye makeup on this video. It was not long ago. I can't remember exactly what video it was, but this is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar Palette, and this is how OG this is because this is the thick one. The like, they've since made skinnier ones, but this is the original packaging that came out with the Too Faced Chocolate Bar Palette. And these 2 colors right here are the ones that I've hit pan on. This one, I had to stop using because I was getting so low on it and I didn't want to run out for when I just traveled with this palette. But I would use this every single day to set my primer. I loved the consistency of this shadow. I don't know what the color is because I threw away that little slip. But, I mean, it's everywhere online. It's easy to find. And then the kind of perfect mid-tone brown crease color right here. Totally hit pan on that, obviously, and I'm very close to hitting pan on Salted Caramel. I do know the name of this one. I think this one's called Semi-Sweet right here. Or Milk Chocolate one. This palette, honestly, I don't give it enough love. It's absolutely so good. And ever since I pulled it out to do that look the other day, I'm like, I totally need to travel with this. And I think it's going to be the only one I take to Florida because it's all you need. And I don't plan on wearing makeup that much there anyways. So even if I just wanted to do a natural look, I'll put Salted Caramel in the crease and I'll highlight with this shimmery shade right here. And if I want to do more glam, you've got some darker colors that you could totally play with. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's definitely the #1 palette that I recommend to all my clients who are just getting into makeup and want to know the first kind of palette they need to get. That's the one I recommend, the Too Faced Chocolate Bar, the original. I've had the Semi-Sweet, I sold it. I've had the peach one, I sold it. I didn't ever reach for those, and I didn't really find that, I don't know, I just didn't find that they were that great. They were okay. I just never reached for them. The Too Faced Chocolate Bar, I will never sell. And who knows, maybe I'll repurchase it one day. It will definitely be the first one that I purchase for my kids. When my girls, when they get old enough to do makeup, if it's still around, I will totally purchase that one because it's perfect. Now, finally, the last used and abused product in my collection is a lip gloss. It's the one I'm wearing today. It's the one you can probably guess because I honestly wear it in every single video that I film. No doubt, no questions. And it's the Bare Minerals Far Out Gloss. This is a very nude, almost milky color gloss. So it does act to lighten a lot of my lip colors, but it is so comfortable. It is not sticky. It's long lasting. It smells good. It's not offensive. This is the second one. I'm almost out of it, and I will be very fast to repurchase my third one. It is hands down my #1 lip gloss. It used to be Buxom Celeste, and has totally been kicked to the curb since I have started using the Bare Minerals. I also like Groovy, and I think I'm going to start, I don't know, collecting a couple other nude shades. They're just, I can't rave enough about them. And I think they're only like $18. That is going to be a wrap. That's all of my used and abused products once I have scoured through my collection. And I think it's a good group of products, obviously, because I have used and abused them. So definitely take all of these products as recommendations. I highly recommend every single one of them to every single one of you. I will list and link all of them down in the description bar. And I would like for you to comment on my video and tell me what is your most used and abused product ever out of your entire collection. What's your most used and abused product? I would love to know. So hopefully you enjoy watching this. Be sure and subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss out on any future videos. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a very blessed day.